Hi, I'm Abby. I have a lot of records. And someone just sent me a metric fuck ton more! Oh my god, that's heavy. Okay, it's going down, okay. Hi, so welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Abby, and I talk about vinyl and classic rock here on my channel. For the past few weeks, I've changed it up and covered some modern classics, but today, we're making a brief detour back into the 60s and 70s stuff, for the most part. There are gonna be some exceptions. A year ago today, if you're watching on the day that I post this, I posted my first 2 videos ever to YouTube. Now, I had no intention of being a vinyl channel. This was actually supposed to be a fashion channel, fun fact, but those first 2 vinyl collection videos, they took off for some reason. Watching them back, they're actually kind of bad. And from there, my flagship series, Vinyl Monday, just kind of happened. So today, I'm throwing it back to how this channel started. I'm just gonna be sitting on my floor, picking up some albums, and then putting them back down again. You're gonna want to stay tuned until the very end. I'm saving the best for last. I'll start this massive vinyl collection update off with the stuff that I picked up on my recent trip to Greenville, South Carolina, then with my recent bandcamp finds, and finally, all of the P.O. Box stuff. But one more thing before we get this massive vinyl collection update started. The music in this video was provided by Julian Fulco Perron. He did the background music in my Q&A video a few weeks back, and his tunes will be linked in my description. Alright, let's get started. Starting off with my little canvas bag full of the stuff that I got at Horizon Records in Greenville, South Carolina. I was down there for my sister's college graduation. It was a super fun trip, and I'm gonna miss going to Horizon like once a year or so. That's a great little place. First thing I picked up was Barabba Joggle by Donovan. I am a huge Donovan fan. This was one of the albums of his that I was really looking for, and it's got the Jeff Beck group on it. I also love Jeff Beck. Like, I'm really into Jeff Beck. Okay. Too early in the video for that nonsense. Right. This album I picked up purely for these notes that the store provided to go along with it. It says, "What's cooler than cool? Ice cold." The rich horn arrangements on this iconic jazz session lay down the groundwork for some of the tastiest, blowing from arguably the most epic personal lineup in recorded jazz. But this is not some overblown all-star grab for attention. The sum is actually greater than the parts, and that's the abstract truth. This is Oliver Nelson's The Blues and the Abstract Truth. I had no idea about this record until I was poking around in Horizon's jazz section. They have an amazing jazz section there. I really wish I'd spent more time with it. I'm trying to build up my jazz and my blues collections a little more, so picked this one up. So if you've seen any episode of Vinyl Monday, specifically my roll transition bits, you will know that I am a Mike Nesmith girly. I just love him so much. So I was super excited to find this Infinite Rider on the Big Dogma by Michael Nesmith. I have a couple copies of Magnetic South. I'm still searching for the other First National Band records, but super excited to add this to my collection. And finally, we have a little John Mayall. I couldn't resist picking up John Mayall. I really like his work. There isn't really anything I've heard of his that I dislike. I haven't heard this specific album, the latest edition, before, but I figure it's a safe bet that I'm gonna like it, so I picked it up. Alright, next up, my bandcamp finds. This one is a little obscure. This is The Uproar and Bursts of Sound and Silence. We have Daniel Carter reading some poetry by Virginia Woolf on this, and Evan Strauss 5-track and Sheridan Riley playing. Now, if you've been around here for long, you'll know that my favorite modern band is always Sheridan Riley is the drummer of Always. I think this thing beats Dragon Soul for the most far out thing in my collection. Free jazz is a very loose term to describe it. I think there's something better, but I just don't have the musical knowledge to ascribe it a better term. Plus, I am a proud and obnoxious Gemini. I collect records that have mentions of Gemini, and the song on the B-side is Gemini Rising. So that's Uproar. Have no idea where I'm gonna file that in my collection. And now for my second and final Bandcamp find. Okay, this one has a story behind it. So not too long ago, I crashed the social media profiles of Now Dig This. It's a show out of Atlanta, Georgia that talks about music and local bands, stuff like that. Super groovy show. Not gonna say much more on that, but I will say you haven't seen the last of me on Now Dig This. The host of the show, Pietro Di Gennaro, he was in this group called Bad Spell. I checked it out of curiosity before my road trip to South Carolina, and I ended up playing this whole album, Don't Go Out Tonight, front to back, several times on the drive. I saw that there were a couple more copies of this left on the label's Bandcamp, so the day after this comes in the mail, I message Pietro like, you will never guess what I got in the mail yesterday, and then I just send a picture of the cover. This got a lot of plays on my road trip. It's gonna get a lot more on my turntable. Check out Bad Spell. Now for the thing you actually clicked on this video for. So before we get going through all of this, oh my god, a little story time. So I have a P.O. box, and sometimes viewers will send things to said P.O. box. That's kind of how P.O. boxes work. One day, I get this email, and I kid you not, all it says is this: I have some albums I would like to send you. Do you have a P.O. box? I say yes and thank you and all that, and I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be like 10 albums max, right? Right? Wrong! Nothing could have prepared me for what was to come in the mail. I get a 20-pound box of albums, and then a few days later, I get another box with another 10 or 15 pounds, and apparently there's another 20-pound box on the way to me in the mail right now, so stay tuned for that, I guess. So yeah, whole situation took me by surprise, a little bit baffling, but Eric, if you're watching this, I'm not sure how to put into words how grateful I am. I think it's just coming off as me being really confused, but I'm genuinely flabbergasted and flattered and really grateful, so thank you so much. I'm gonna have to make some serious room in my shelves for all of this. Right, we're just gonna quick fire through these albums. Let's go. First thing on the top of the box was the Yardbirds, For Your Love. I've been dying to have the Yardbirds on Vinyl Monday. They've come up a few times in the context of Led Zeppelin and Eric Clapton and all that. I also love Jeff Beck. There we go. Next, another album I've been dying to have on Vinyl Monday, John Mayall Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton. This is colloquially known as the Beano album. Can't believe that guitar just got stolen, by the way. Just somebody out there has Beano. Maybe they know, maybe they don't, I don't know. Little Girl, favorite song off this, next album. Ooh, okay, this one also has a story. This is a really good one. This is some bits and pieces from Smile. So if you don't know, Smile is a huge portion of Beach Boys lore. This was supposed to be the follow-up to Pet Sounds, never quite played out. Good Vibrations was from this project, blah, blah, blah. I was recently on Giggins' YouTube channel, big Beach Boys guy, and we talked about the Smile sessions. So not long after I filmed that video with Giggins, I get this in this great big box of albums in the mail. So I message him on Instagram just with a photo of this, like, hi, Help! He told me everything I needed to know about this. This is one of the earliest bootlegs of Smile from 1983. I think the only earlier bootlegs than this were the tapes that Dennis Wilson would just hand out to people. So this is an amazing piece of Beach Boys history right here. Cherishing this forever. You might see it in a future video. Speaking of the Beach Boys, I finally have a copy of Pet Sounds with the original album art. If you've seen my Vinyl Monday on Pet Sounds, you'll know that I have the double album of Pet Sounds and Carl and the Passions, So Tough, and that one has alternate Pet Sounds art. I finally have this green, white, and yellow text. Then, the Best of Love. Okay, Forever Changes is the most requested album I've ever had for Vinyl Monday. This is my first Love album in my collection. Just a little hits compilation. Love Arthur Lee, love this group. Next album. Oh, next box set, actually. This, I have never seen this before. It is everything you've ever heard about the Velvet Underground. This is all of the Velvet's studio albums. It's VU and Nico, it's VU, not VU, Velvet Underground self-titled, that is abbreviated to VU. Okay, White Light, White Heat, and Loaded. I'm looking for some beater sleeves of all of those individual albums so I can pop all of these in there. It's literally just the box and the sleeves, so I think having some covers would help as a storage solution. So my most viewed episode of Vinyl Monday is, of course, the Blind Faith video. Speaking of Steve Winwood, Traffic, Dear Mr. Fantasy. Ooh, we got some Hendrix in here. This is Band of Gypsies. I have a copy of the Fillmore East performance the night before this. It's called Machine Gun. That was New Year's Eve 1969. Band of Gypsies was New Year's Day 1970. It's amazing how much all of these songs changed in just 24 hours. And we have Axis Bold as Love. I had a poster of this art hanging on the back of my door in my college dorm. Loved it. That was my favorite Experience record for a long time. Like, Electric Ladyland intimidated me at first, but since I did a Vinyl Monday episode on Electric Ladyland, that one is now my favorite. I'm also really into Noel Redding. This one is super exciting. Lou Reed Transformer. I've been looking for this album for a while. I feel like I'm gonna be saying that a lot throughout this video, but really, this is an amazing box full of stuff that I'd been looking for, and Transformer is one of those albums. Future Vinyl Monday episode, absolutely. Next, some more John Mayall. Empty Rooms. Haven't heard this one, but since it's John Mayall, I'm probably gonna enjoy it. Got some Humble Pie. Rock On. Canned Heat Cookbook, the best of Canned Heat. Canned Heat albums are kind of hard to find from my experience, so good to have a greatest hits. Don't knock greatest hits. I have another copy of Blood, Sweat, and Tears. This is Child is Father to the Man, right? Yeah, Child is Father to the Man. Had to make sure. Cover art is great, but I always thought the back art was super groovy. Maybe it's just because I like the color pink. This is the first of the albums that I've never heard of. Climax Blues Band, Tightly Knit. And this one I was really excited about. Tubular Bells. People have mentioned it in my comments, so now I have this. If you're a chronically online Zoomer like me, then you know Fragile, yes, Roundabout, the Roundabout meme. I got the Last Waltz soundtrack. Fun fact, I have 2 copies of this soundtrack now, and I've never actually seen the movie. Yeah, gotta rectify that. A little more Traffic, Shootout at the Fantasy Factory. What is the story with this shaped, I don't see Shape jackets very often. I think the only other one I have in my collection is that Stone's Greatest Hits comp. Oh, okay. Next thing in this box, I actually can't show you, so I'm just gonna take the sleeve off and everything down here, and I'm just gonna show you the gatefold, because this is the naked lady cover of Electric Ladyland. Yeah, that would not fly on YouTube. Great photo of Jimmy. Hi, Noel. Another album that I've been wanting to have on Vinyl Monday, T-Rex Electric Warrior. There's so many songs of this one that I like. Jeepster, of course. Bang a Gong, who doesn't like that song? Life's a Gas. Total, like, glam rock textbook right here. And we have a little more T-Rex down here. We have the slider. Is this the one with Ride a White Swan on it? Hold on. Oh, this is the one with Telegram Sam! Okay. So I bought my first copy of the Yes album at Horizon Records the first time we ever went to Greenville to move my sister in for college. So, considering the beginning of this video, kind of a sweet little full circle moment with the Yes album. We have some ELO, No Answer. Oh my god, I forgot this was in the box. This is now my 4th copy of Santana Abraxas. We are officially tied 3 ways for albums that I've collected the most of. It's a 3-way tie now between Layla, Blind Faith, and this. It's of no fault of my own. These albums just kind of happened to me, you know? Spirit, 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. I remember really liking this record. I really need to revisit Spirit. We have Entertainment by Gang of Four. This is another record that I've never heard before. And we have Metal by Pink Floyd. I absolutely have heard this album before. This is, in my opinion, the underrated Floyd release, now that Animals has apparently been rated correctly. I don't know, I never liked that album, but the best Pink Floyd song is on here, Echoes. Echoes, the best Pink Floyd song. The best Pink Floyd song! Traffic, When the Eagle Flies. What else is down here? John Barleycorn Must Die by Traffic, really boosting up my Traffic collection in this box. We have the Jimi Hendrix Concerts. This was one of the many, many posthumous Hendrix albums. This is a collection of live shows. We have some Winterland on here, a little bit from San Diego, some from Berkeley, so it looks like a lot of California shows on this. We've got some more posthumous Hendrix, The Cry of Love. I could be wrong about this, but I think this is the compilation with some stuff from Electric Lady on it. All Things Must Pass by George Harrison. I am a George Harrison girly, if you didn't know. He's always been my favorite Beatle. And this album has Derek and the Dominoes on it. Yeah, whenever I tell people that this record is solely responsible for Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs happening, people lose their minds. I love dropping that trivia on people. I was so excited to see this one in the box. This is There's a Riot Going On by Sly and the Family Stone. Like I said earlier, I've been trying to build on jazz and blues in my collection. I've also really been trying to build up my funk and my soul knowledge, and this is a great step one. I was also really excited to see this, American Woman by the Guess Who. The Guess Who are so underrated, honestly. I feel like I talk about the Guess Who the same way I talk about, you know, Count 5 and the Cryin' Shames, some of those 60s pop groups that kind of got lost in the fray. Of course, the title track was the big hit, but there are other great songs by them. This made me so happy. This is a double release of the Madcap Laughs and Barrett by Syd Barrett. I have a huge soft spot in my heart for Syd Barrett, original frontman of Pink Floyd, of course. Just such a sweet and sensitive soul, and I wish we'd gotten a little more of Pink Floyd Sid. Or Sid with Pink Floyd, should I say. It's just like how I talk about Brian Jones in the Rolling Stones. Like, I wish there was at least one more album like their Satanic Majesty's Request. I go to bat for that album like nobody else does, because I just feel that that record showcased Brian's talent so much, and we never really got to see that again. You know, right after Satanic Majesties, they just kind of went right back to the blues thing with Beggar's Banquet, and I wish they'd lingered on that psych tangent just a little longer. Anyway, Cosmos Factory, CCR. One of my subscribers actually tipped me off to this album by way of his radio show, Paradise Overground, run by Derek. He had Ramble Tamble on the first episode of that show that I listened to. That was last summer. I was hooked. Okay, we got some upside down ones in here. Clearly I wasn't careful putting these away. All right, getting to the bottom of the box, some Echo and the Bunnymen Heaven up here. I was big into the whole 80s alt pop, a little bit new wave, but mostly goth thing in college, if that's even how you describe it. I don't know. I was pretentious. I liked the Smiths and the Cure and Echo and the Bunnymen. Randy Newman, 12 songs in this box. Some more Guess Who, Share the Land, and finally a second copy of John Barleycorn Must Die. I guess John Barleycorn really must die. I've been keeping this box on its side so they don't all just lay flat, so they're actually standing up, lid back on to keep it from getting dusty. Okay, that's back on its side. Onto the second box. Yeah, this second box I got a few days after the first, and I was delighted to find at the top of the box Todd Rundgren, Something Anything. I love Todd Rundgren. Some of my favorite songs ever recorded are on this album, and I lost all of my Todd and all my Rod Stewart in a move. I never had this album though. While I can't have all my Todd back, it's nice to have this one. Then we have some Johnny Winter. This is Second Winter. Never heard that album, but I'll give it a listen now that I own it. We got some Dire Straits. I think this is self-titled? Yeah, this looks to be self-titled Dire Straits. I actually don't know a whole lot about that group, but I know they're important in the rock and roll canon, so gotta brush up on my knowledge. We got some more CCR. This is Green River. No, this is Bayou Country. Sorry, this is Bayou Country. I always get this record and Green River mixed up. Some more Lou Reed, Berlin. I was so excited to see this one in the box. Stevie Wonder Talking Book. This is, of course, the record with Superstition on it. I got a couple records by the Mahavishnu Orchestra. I had never heard of this group until I got these albums in this box, but then I did my research for the last Vinyl Monday, the Black Midi video, and this group came up, so gonna have to put this on the turntable and see where the comparisons are coming from. I don't know, I always think of Black Midi being like the midpoint between Lark's Tongue's King Crimson and Crazy World of Arthur Brown, with a little bit of Alice Cooper mixed in, definitely some Zappa, maybe a little Mahavishnu, who knows? All right, we got some Bruce Springsteen, The Wild, The Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle. We got War, The World is a Ghetto. Super excited to see some War in this box. Ooh, Jack Bruce and Robin Trower together. Okay, Jack Bruce, of course, bassist of Cream, and Robin Trower of Procol Harum. I think Robin Trower is one of the great underrated guitarists. He's on my short list with Roy Buchanan, Mick T, Danny Kerwin, Fleetwood Mac, excited to hear these two together. Oh my god, this is an amazing supergroup name. I just got the joke now, actually. This is Jack Bruce, Bill Lorden, and Robin Trower, or BLT. We got some Bob Marley and the Wailers in here, Catch a Fire. Some of my best memories from growing up were my mom playing her Bob Marley Greatest Hits CD on car rides in the summer. I have some great memories of my college friends playing Bob Marley Greatest Hits in the car as well. It's nice to have another Bob record. So I mentioned, I think this was in my Q&A video, that my favorite member of CSN was Stephen Stills. I'm a Stephen Stills girly, but my favorite member of CSNY was Neil Young. So kind of perfect that we have Stills and Young, Long May You Run, in this box. This is one of the coolest things in here. This is Them Changes by Buddy Miles. In that first box, I pulled out that Band of Gypsies record, and Buddy Miles was the drummer in that group. I love a good drummer. It is of my belief that a band is only as good as their drummer, so good to have some Buddy Miles. Also, great afro. Got some Neil Young. Tonight's the Night. I will never resist adding to my Neil Young collection. God, that guy's put out so many records. Sailor by the Steve Miller Band, a band that I had no idea was quite as prolific as they were. Just once I started collecting Steve Miller, I found that the albums just kept on happening. I feel like we only really talk about a few. Okay. Steely Dan. So I have 2 copies of Can't Buy a Thrill. Don't expect to see Steely Dan on Vinyl Monday anytime soon. I don't know. I feel like a bad rock and roll listener because everybody's like, oh, Steely Dan, Steely Dan, Steely Dan is so great. And I just haven't warmed up to them the same way other people have, you know, besides the hits. I have no idea what this is. Yeah, what is this? Oh wow, we have no title on the front or the back or, oh, Santana! This is Santana 3, yeah. Wacky cover art. Their name isn't anywhere on it, not even on the spine, so I did have to open it up to remind myself it was Santana. Oops. And that was actually the last of all of the records that I've gotten from Eric so far. Again, there's like another 20-pound box coming in the mail. Eric, thank you so much. So many of these were albums that I had been looking for years, and you just like dropped them all into my lap. Thank you so much. You are now another patron saint of this channel. Mike sent me the Summer of Soul soundtrack, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised. This one has B.B. King on it, The Fifth Dimension, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and of course, Sly and the Family Stone, and Nina Simone. Great lineup right there. Again, been looking to increase my scope on funk and soul, and I figured this is a nice little starter pack, don't you think? And now we have the final 2 pieces that I will be showing you. These came in a box from Pat, and I think these are the 2 most special things that I've come into ownership of. First, we have a greatest hits style compilation of his wife's recordings. He produced all of this music for her. And we have, take that out of the sleeve really quick. This is Neil Young and Crazy Horse Zuma, but this isn't just any copy of Zuma. This is a promotional copy, handed out to radio stations and stuff like that to promote the album. And this was handed out before the album art was finished. So this was just drawn on. I have the only copy in the world of Zuma that looks like this. Pat, thank you so much for this. I can't imagine this was easy to part with. So to hand it off to a big ol' Neil Young and Crazy Horse fan is just amazing. And I'm gonna cherish this forever, and bragging rights forever as well. Unique copy of Zuma that I would love to feature in a Vinyl Monday soon. And that's it! That is a huge vinyl collection update. I have no idea how long this video is gonna be, so thank you for sticking around for the whole thing. Thank you so much for joining this long, strange trip. What a long, strange trip my first year on YouTube has been. There are big things coming. I can't wait for you to see those big things, and I can't wait to see where Vinyl Monday is headed in the future. Since I don't know how else to end this video, I'm just gonna say that if you like what I do here, you should like this video and subscribe to my channel. I post new episodes of my flagship series, Vinyl Monday, every Monday morning at 11. Thank you so much for watching the 1-year anniversary special of my channel, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Okay, bye! I'm gonna go lay down now. This was long.